Thanks for dialing in. Let's just give it a few minutes so we let some participants the chance to tune in, and we can probably start in just about a minute. All right, so dear participants, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for those tuning in to us. It's good to see a lot of familiar names in the audience. So for those who don't know me, I'm Ling. I'm the Director of Communications and Marketing at I4E. So welcome again to another webinar in the Innovation for Electrification series. So for those of you who don't know the I4E series, we created it for our members so that we can bring them one step closer to potential collaborations. And the point is also to give them the opportunity to directly showcase their products and solutions. So with that, I'm happy to kick off the 4th edition of the 2025 I4E series, and it's on digitalization, software, and optimization. So some of you may have seen this already. So we also launched a newsletter on the same theme yesterday. So feel free to check out the contributions there too. They're also from I4E members, and you can find these articles on the website and in your inbox. So we can probably go to the next slide, and that's the agenda. So as mentioned, the topic of today is digitalization, software, and optimization. Today we're seeing how software is really playing a pivotal role in unlocking the full potential of DRE assets. So whether that's enabling predictive maintenance, intelligent load management, demand forecasting, and seamless integration of renewables into mini grids and national grids alike. We're also seeing how cloud-based platforms and real-time monitoring are making energy systems more transparent and adaptive. And we're also seeing how automation is helping operators optimize performance and reduce costs. So I4E and its members are at the forefront of digital transformation. So today we've got 6 members here with us, here to explain their projects and solutions that my colleague Carlos will introduce in a moment. So we'll be hearing from Sessy, from Anfani. We'll be hearing from Diogo, from Okra, Nat-Sy from Orange Energy, Warren from SteamaCo, Luke from Turbulent Hydro, and last but not least, Anzala from Upya Technologies. So please take note that the session is recorded and it will be made available on the I4E website and our YouTube channel. So if you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat with the name of the speaker and who it's addressed to. We can maybe move to the next slide. It's a slide about who we are at I4E. So for those of you who don't know us, we are the Global Business Association, and we represent 200 members along the DRE value chain. We work to expand sustainable electricity access, create jobs, and respond to climate change across the 3 continents, so Africa, Asia Pacific, and Latin America. We can maybe move to the next slide, and it's a slide on our global presence. So as you can see, we're active globally, and this map illustrates where we work. A large part of our work comes from our members that work in Africa, but also Asia and Latin America. We are, technology-wise, we are technology agnostic. So that means our members, they work across all technologies. So whether that's bioenergy, hydro, wind, power components, energy storage, solar PV or hydrogen, for example. We are also system size agnostic. So our members also work on grid connected, standalone and mini grids powered by renewables. And we can go maybe to the last slide, which basically talks about our membership services. So at I4E, our mission is to support the private sector. And these are some of the services that we offer to our members. We have 4 of them. So it's business and market development, capacity building, policy and advocacy, communications, and marketing. So in case you need to know or you would like to know more about us on how to join the I4E family, feel free to reach out to us after the webinar. And with that, I end my opening remarks, and I'll hand it over to my colleague Carlos, who will be facilitating the webinar. So with that, I wish everyone an insightful exchange on the topic. Over to you, Carlos.
Thank you very much, Ling. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this new edition of the Innovation for Electrification Showcase webinar. As mentioned today with the topic Digitalization, Software and Optimization. My name is Carlos. I'm Business and Market Development Associate at I4E. And today I have the pleasure of being the moderator of this fantastic panel. We have with us 6 experts coming from 6 members of I4E who will be showcasing their projects and solutions, all of them related with digitalization, software optimization, and also with DRE technologies, with decentralized renewable energy. So before we start, just a couple of very short remarks from my side, as I always do. First of all, dear speakers, please try to stick to the time as much as possible. You will have 8 minutes for your presentation. And if you're running out of time, I will probably use this small lever to let you know that you should wrap up. That's one. And then, dear audience, please make sure you can make as many questions as you want. Here in GoToWebinar, you will find the question option. Here is like a chat. We will have a Q&A session in the end, and I will be redirecting your questions to the speakers. So this is our invitation for you to ask as many questions as you want. Having said that, I will invite the first speaker of the day, so we can go to the next slide. And I have the real pleasure of presenting Ms. Sessy Anjorin, who is representing Anfani from Nigeria. So thank you very much, Sessy, and the floor is all yours for the next 8 minutes. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Carlos, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sessy Anjorin, and I am happy to represent Anfani at this I4E webinar series. And I will just be taking us briefly through our Anfani digital platform. Hopefully, I can cover this quickly in 8 minutes. So basically, what we do at Anfani is very simple. We connect people, power, and possibility. And at Anfani, we believe that access to clean energy shouldn't be difficult or complicated. It should be easy, it should be transparent, and most importantly, it should be available to everybody. Next slide, please. So Anfani is actually a renewable energy financing and brokerage company, and we're committed to empowering businesses and communities across the sub-Saharan region. And our major focus is in the unbanked and underserved areas through sustainable and accessible energy solutions. At Anfani, we envision a future where clean energy is not just a choice, but a universal right. In simpler terms, we believe access to clean energy should be a part of our everyday lives. Anfani's vision is rooted in inclusivity, sustainability, and shared growth. So what we do basically at Anfani is we're like a bridge. So we connect people who need energy, people who provide these energy solutions, and finally financiers who fund these solutions. Next slide, please. So the way we do this at Anfani, one of the ways we do this is via our brokerage platform. So our Anfani brokerage platform serves 3 different customer types. We have MSMEs who we tagged customers that are looking to transition to renewable energy. Secondly, we also have project developers who not only handle installations, but also provide renewable energy services and assets. And finally, we have financiers who are investors funding renewable energy transitions for a return on investments. Next slide, please. So on our platform, we have a robust KYC verification automation. Simply put, once a customer signs up on our platform, it triggers a KYC process. This process is integrated with identity verification services. And the reason why we do this is to ensure that we validate the information that any customer type is putting on our platform. This is to make sure that we minimize fraud risks and to make sure that all the customers on our platform are actually legitimate and they adhere to regulatory frameworks. Next slide, please. So once the KYC process is completed, it is reviewed by the Anfani team on the back end, and then we give access to each customer type as the case may be, and they have a dashboard that every stakeholder can have a real-time summarized view of what matters most to them. In other words, if you're a customer, once you get a dashboard, you have the ability to view energy providers, to see your the loans that you're servicing, to see your loan performance, and to see whether your loan is due. As an energy provider, you get to see things like your project performance, you get to see customer feedback, you get to see your project progress, and etc. So our platform includes a fully embedded fintech infrastructure with wallet services as well. These wallet services allow customers to either deposit money and also withdraw money. And we have a credit scoring algorithm that determines the maximum renewable energy financing a customer can receive. And our platform ensures transparency by logging all lease-to-own transactions with unique references, which are definitely visible at a glance. Next slide, please. Once we've given access to the financier as well, they actually have the ability to browse a pool of projects seeking funding, and they can select those that meet their criteria and finance them directly from our Anfani wallets. So investors can actually see their investment performance, they can see project pipelines, and also see repayment schedules as the case may be. Next slide, please. So by virtue of our operations since its inception, we've actually been able to help a number of MSMEs transition from traditional fossil fuels to clean renewable energy. And these customers actually range from micro businesses to small scale businesses to medium-sized businesses. And our customers cut across all the geographical locations in Nigeria. So we have them in southern Nigeria, western Nigeria, eastern Nigeria, and also northern Nigeria. And from the feedback that we've received from our customers, we've been able to allow them save a total of about 150,000 Naira on energy costs. For context, 150,000 Naira is approximately $1,000. So you can imagine how we've been able to help these businesses save this amount. And these are real changes happening every day. It's not just theory. We actually see it. It's practical. And we intend to scale our businesses as the time goes on. Next slide, please. So at Anfani, our next phase is about scalability and collaboration. In the nearest future, we're expanding into empowering last mile households and businesses with reliable, verified solar solutions. We also intend to start powering rural schools, health centers, and agri-infrastructure with scalable, renewable models. And finally, we're looking to start building interconnected local networks that enable productive energy use and community growth. The big idea is to help everyone, energy provider, financier, and customer, to work together in one big ecosystem. Because we believe that if everyone works together in one ecosystem, progress is made faster. Next slide, please. Thank you. I hope I made it. Thank you very much, Carlos.
Thank you very much, Sessy. A perfect time management and very insightful presentation. Everyone who is willing to partner with Anfani, you can reach out to Sessy, or you can let us know and we will build the bridge. So yeah, thank you very much. And the audience, feel free to ask as many questions as you want. So yeah, thanks, Sessy. Now we will continue with the next presentation of the day. Going to the next slide, I will have the pleasure to invite Diogo, representing Okra Solar, to speak and to talk about their mesh grids and their work all over the world. So thank you very much, Diogo, and over to you.
Thank you, Carlos and Sessy. Yeah, as Carlos said, my name is Diogo. I'm a software engineer here at Okra, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about how software enables successful deployment of mesh grid systems. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, support that end-to-end. Next slide, please. All right. The first thing I want to say is I suspect many in the audience maybe don't know what a mesh grid is, so I want to quickly touch on that. The mesh grid, you can think of it kind of like a mini grid, but there's no centralized power supply. In the mesh grid, each household is a node in a network and has their own solar panel, their own battery, their own meter, which we at Okra develop. And through some very smart algorithms, energy is shared across the network in a sensible fashion as it needed. It's a very cool system. It's lightweight in things like cost, in things like regulation, and also how fast it is to deploy. It's a technology that we have developed at Okra, and I'm happy to say it's a very useful and serious technology already. It is recognized by the DARES grant, which is the largest energy access grant in the world, with the World Bank sponsoring $750 million US. And we already power over 8,000 households, mainly in Nigeria, which is where we are scaling. Next slide, please. Now, onto software, which is the point of today's presentation. How can software support mesh grid deployments end to end? The first problem that we and our customers face is, where should we deploy? And it's an important problem because picking the best sites where you have the best chance of having a good blend of residential users with also productive users is half the battle. It's a great predictor of success, and picking sites can be unwieldy. Imagine, I mean, you've all shared spreadsheets back and forth and emails. Nobody knows what the latest version is. It's very easy to make mistakes, and it's a bit hard to understand what your plans, your pipeline for electrification across several sites is just from looking at a spreadsheet. So next slide, please. Another one. Another slide. Yeah, there you go. So we've developed something we call the site finder. This allows you to instantly visualize where your pipeline of sites to electrify is. So you see the green circles there, and then you can see infrastructure that is nearby. You can see eligible sites, that's the little V's. And you can add and remove, and this is a collaborative tool that anyone from our sales team to our customers can log in and instantly see the status of a project. All right, next slide, please. All right, the next problem we face is, all right, we've chosen certain villages to electrify. The question is, how much is it going to cost? And again, very important problem, because we deploy in really last mile rural locations. Is not places where a lot of money is going to be spent. So we go back and forth with trying to calculate how much is it going to cost. So we can, this used to be a manual process in which you tweak things, do a calculation, and then you want to change something. It's really hard to do it. It's time consuming, and again, very error prone. So next slide, please. So we came up with a piece of software called the Network Planner. this is already some years under its belt, and the network planner allows you to basically input a location, think latitude, longitude, and in return, our system, using satellite data, using the algorithm that we developed over time, knows where to place households in the map, count how many you can energize, and then give you a fully detailed bill of materials for what it's going to cost. And if you're not satisfied, you can tweak config. Just click of a button, you generate it again, and you get all sorts of useful graphs and data here. So it's been something that's been extensively used by our customers and sales teams. Next slide, please. Now we are in quite a successful stage. You have managed to buy the equipment. It got shipped and installed in one or many villages. And you're an energy company. How are you going to manage this? How do you know how much you're making from the project? Who's topping up? Who has energy? Who's having issues? How do you define how much people are paying for energy? So this is where our core software comes in. It's called Harvest. Next slide, please. And you can think of it as mission control and analytics. It's got everything. You can see the performance. You can see it as an overview. You can see it as granularly as per household. You can set the tariffs that each category of user is going to have, and there's also some insights that you can see and then transmit to your field agent. Insights in the sense of maybe a household is having some issues, maybe it's not topping up, maybe the cabling is not well connected. So it's really mature software. It's been here for years. The dashboards you see here in the GIF, these are dashboards that came from customer pains. Like a customer wants to see data organized in a certain way, and so over time we've developed things. What you see here in Harvest are things that real customers, people who have deployed with the mesh grid in the off-grid space, they use and find useful. So there's a lot there. Next slide, please. So speaking of a lot, the other side of Harvest is, of course, it is quite big now. If you're a regular user, you know where to find things. But if you're just looking for something, you don't usually go in there. You might not know where to click, what section to go to, what dashboard to consult. And so, next slide, please. We created something called Brainwave, which is an AI-powered tool. And of course, no software presentation is complete without a mention of AI. This allows you to basically ask your data anything you like, from something simple like how many households are electrified in this village to something a bit more complex, like you see here. We asked for the system to make an appreciation of what households in a given village would be good candidates to upgrade to a better kit if they're using a lot of energy, and vice versa. So that's something that Brainwave is more flexible at. Like you can be a bit more creative in how you consult your data, and you can also do other things that are not possible to do on Harvest, such as combining data from different dashboards, and it's very customizable and a fun process. This is very much used by our internal teams to uncover some insights, which we have already been piping directly to field agents to communicate and see if they can get actions that will improve the success of our customers' deployments. Next slide, please. So I just want to tie it all together. Like, okay, so what? We do all of this software. What have we learned? And I would say that a theme that goes through it all is everything you see here. It comes from real customer pains. This is the way we like to do software. We try not to prematurely build things, and instead I feel like what we built represents things that have really served problems that our customers had, and that means we are out there with them, like deeply understanding their operation, their pains, and for us, success. Well, for us specifically in the software team, and surely for Okra, is seeing our customers more and more successful in bringing power to the people that have never had it before. Next slide. That's it from me. Thank you. You should, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, ask them, visit our site, our LinkedIn, however makes the most sense to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Diogo. It's been a real pleasure to know about all these projects. Congratulations to you and congratulations to Okra team. It's really impactful, and yeah, looking forward to knowing more and to receiving the questions from the audience as well.
Thank you, Carlos.
So thank you very much, Diogo. Now we will continue with the webinar. Third speaker. If we can go to the next slide, yes. Now I have the pleasure of presenting Nat-Sy Missamou, who is the Middle East and Africa Director of Orange Energies. So hi Nat-Sy, very nice to have you here. And yeah, the floor is all yours.
So thank you, Carlos, and thank you, the association, for the invitation. So I have 8 minutes, so I will try to go fast. So Orange is a telecom operator active in Africa. And you know that if you don't have electricity, you don't have telecommunications. And if the customer does not have electricity, they cannot charge their phone, and so in turn they cannot use telecom services. So energy has always been a crucial issue for telco, especially in Africa, where the infrastructure are quite less developing compared to other parts of the world. So as you can see in the next slide, the question we're asking ourselves is how to make this electrification sustainable, durable over the time. We don't want to have project. We don't want to see people launching project and fail after 1, 2, 3 years. So the question we ask ourselves: how can we be a partner to energy developers, players, to help them achieve that sustainability? No, we are a telecom operator. We are not an energy developer or anything, but we are a partner to all that developers. So 2 questions when you develop a mini grid. First, you need to have all the electricity that is consumed in your system being paid. For this, so you can put in place some systems to allow this payment using mobile money. But then your second question is, you also need to have all the energy that you produce being consumed, not only during the night where you have batteries and it is quite expensive, but also during the day. So you can, if you have some anchor customers, like for example Orange Telecom Tower, it can help you really make some things more sustainable. You need to be able to detect fraud, to ensure the 2 statements that I've said at the beginning, and to provide good quality of services to your customer, to reduce your costs and stuff. I can go direct to the next slide because the time goes fast. So we see that using digital normally should be helping a lot this, but then you have the new issues is most of the time you integrate solutions, you integrate mobile money from one supplier, meters, communications, SMS and stuff. So you have all an integration work to do. And when the customer has paid and it does not receive electricity, who is to blame? Is that the SMS that was not sent? Is that the connection to the meter? Is that the mobile money problem? Is that the meter himself? So we want to provide a hand-to-hand solution, and also really make some special tariff to data communication for that not to be an issue, and to also ensure that the data communication works. This is something that are under our hand, and we can provide this to this. And also, when you use digital, you might want to better use solutions that are connected, because most of the time, if you use meters on STS or anything which are not connected, then you don't know what's going on into the customer house, and so this can increase fraud and different things. This is seen on the ground. So we really believe it's better to have all that solutions connected, provided that the connection is of good quality, and this is something we can ensure. And also you have security issues. You need, when the system is open, you are exposed to have some hacking, some hackers trying to connect and make things. So you need to have a solution that is really strongly secured. And also you need to be able to discuss with your meters remotely, being able to make some actions, for example, to limit the power when you are lacking some energy, to make some, so actually to really do some special tariffs, for example, customized tariff based, night days, different, changing over the days. You need to make be able to make some interactions with your system and make some tele actions. And also being able to really manage the cost of communication too, because sometimes you can install some network at the beginning, looks cheaper, but with all the maintenance that you have to do and all the stuff, finally you have some hidden costs that finally makes things expensive and difficult, and then becomes an obstacle to use digital. All right, so on the next slide, what we try to expose is the solutions. So this is a cloud-based solution developed by Orange called Orange Smart Metering. So no infrastructure to deploy, no communication network to deploy. Everything relies on the GPRS network at affordable cost. So you can use your own meters, provided it is compliant with the LMS COSEM, in such a way that you avoid any vendor locking on the meter, when we know that it is the most important cost in the metering solution. So here you are free to make competition working well. So it is a software where you can create, manage everything, and see the load curve of each customer, see the payment, adapt tariff, and see make some remote action, tele actions. Yes, and for people who actually don't want to provide, does not have their own meters, we have also some partnerships to provide solution on meters. Everything integrated, mobile money for detections, and security and stuff. We do that for dozens for hundreds of millions of customers in our services in Africa, so we can provide the security to the actions. On the next slide, I think I almost finished. So from some example project with Guinea Electrification Agency, where we help a developer called IPT PowerTech in ABC model, where you have a telecom tower as a anchor tenant. Also, we do that in DRC. Actually, we started helping developers in Burkina Faso since some years, and we are also using the same solution for our own energy management needs for the sites we have in some of the countries. So several other developers are currently being developed. They don't want us to tell who are their names, but it is in Central Africa, Republic, Senegal, and Mali. So next slide, you can see really you should see us as a partner, more than just a software, cloud-based and security provider or connection provider and stuff. So you can use the solution alone. It is really your choice, but we can also be a partner who provide a stable income using this ABC model with the tower being connected, and the customer will consume electricity also including during the day. So which is cheaper to deliver compared to using it during the night. So we can adapt to the capacity of the mini grid. If we are not able to provide during the night, we can. Okay, everything is really can be sized to the requirement. We provide connected prepayment system, and when it is connected, you can also gather a lot of information more than just making the payment. You can know what are the load curve. You can understand in timely way what's going on into the customer inside the customer house. All of it with security to provide you the freedom of choosing your own meter also, and without being vendor locked. And also in the same platform, you can also do some pay-go. I have not mentioned it to this presentation, everything we do on the solar home system, SSPS and predictive use system, where we also helping manufacture of all that systems deploy in Africa using pay-as-you-go. In the same platform, you can provide pay-as-you-go equipment that will help stimulation of demand for your mini grid, being fridges, freezers, or any kind of machines. I have finished. In the next slide, it's at the end. Actually, I'm just saying thank you, I guess. So that's it. Yeah. Thank you. Next slide. Eight minutes to go fast, huh? I hope I have, yeah.
Thank you, Nat-Sy, and sorry for cutting the presentation. It's been really interesting. And it's also very good to see the connection between energy and connectivity and access. So thank you very much. The telecom is also pretty interesting for I4E as well. Dear audience, in case you want to partner with Orange, you can also reach out to Nat-Sy, and feel free to ask questions as always. All right, so fourth presentation, if we can go to the next slide, I will present, in this case, Mr. Warren Scott White, who is the Vice President of Sales representing Steama company. So welcome, Warren, thank you very much, and over to you. Sorry, Warren, you're muted.
There we go. I've been unmuted. Sorry, the button wouldn't work. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm Warren Scott White, and today I'm going to touch on SteamaCo's IoT digitalization solutions for energy distribution systems. We've been a pioneer of digitalization and distribution. We started off initially as a developer of mini-grids in Kenya 13 years ago. By 2018, we transitioned to providing the technology that fully digitalizes mini-grids. And in 2023, through a number of pilots in Nigeria, we proved that the smart meter data that we were collecting alongside the payment data from customers' top-ups can be analyzed to address the highest value problems faced across the board by many African utilities, both grid and off-grid, which is revenue losses stemming from energy theft and technical problems, poor collection efficiencies and so forth. A year ago, we acquired Lagos-based Shift Power Solutions, and we now can offer 2 key digitalization products, which we deliver as services, which I'll talk about a bit more later on, Nimbus AMI and FlexView. Next slide, please. So the key drivers for SteamaCo always have been and started off as enabling remote and automated operations and management of mini grids. But over the time of delivering, hundreds of mini grid systems that cover 22 countries and 500,000 people get energy through systems we manage, we found the real value lies in enabling high quality data-driven decision making for the vendor, and improving their customer engagement, and through giving the customers, the end customers, the complete transparency of energy usage and payments. What we found in this journey is that when you have smart data from the energy grid of whatever size, the utilities business can benefit by getting a detailed insights into their revenue and technical operations. They can see how productive their customers are or aren't. They can see trends in top-ups. They understand how the revenues, the money, the actual cash flows are happening in their business. They can identify areas of weakness. We derive and provide them a large number of key business metrics. They can constantly analyze their performance against the KPIs and their business objectives. A lot of it's quite granular. They just need to know which sites are overperforming, underperforming, which meters are not working, which customers are delinquent on payments or not actually performing as expected. But also we're able to give them more insights so they can proactively plan things like maintenance, or start addressing losses before the issues cripple the energy service or the business itself. We get lots of data. We can see which customers, which countries, which areas actually have higher ARPUs, lower ARPUs. A lot of the times I can understand the pain points for a customer better than they can, simply because we can look at the data and then we can actually help guide them through sort of business operations aspects more so than the technical aspects. There's a lot of untapped areas with this, but things like finding inventive ways to monetize their data and these insights, their customer data, that still is a great untapped revenue stream, particularly for mini grid businesses where every dollar counts. We've been doing some great innovations thanks to UK Innovate. That's unfolding in now demand forecasting, taking in external data to sort of understand what kind of productivity you can expect from the panels, battery storage, and that actually then allows dynamic load balancing to take place on a day-to-day basis, ensuring that critical connections get the power they need, while increasing or decreasing the services to other off-takers. Fundamentally, our customers that have been with us in this journey now can plan their investments better, in either, for example, increasing capacity on certain grids that need it, or as they move forward to the next portfolios of sites, choosing the right mix of socially beneficial sites that maybe have low ARPUs and commercially beneficial sites that are actually cross-subsidized within their portfolio, but ultimately in a way that keeps their entire business financially sound, but also achieving impact and development goals set for them. I mean, fundamentally, mini grids are great for energy resilience in the face of climate change and other unexpected events. And our system and our solutions certainly help our customers to understand which of their sites are working well, deal with issues before they arise, and maintain that resilience. Quite frankly, we've been scratching at the surface of the true value that's sitting there, given the high degree of digitalization in the off-grid sector that employ solutions like SteamaCo's. Next slide, please. I'm just going to talk a bit. So SteamaCo itself, with our Nimbus product, we provide our services across a wide variety of grids. So starting with grid utilities using Nimbus AMI. Could you please click, please? Nimbus AMI is a meter-agnostic smart metering platform, and will overlay AI analytics that detect things like losses, bypasses, partial bypasses. We help utilities actually understand and locate where their losses are occurring, which then gives them the insights to actually go and deal with them. Please click twice, please. Please click again. Thanks. Our systems also employed with interconnected mini-grids. These are generally peri-urban areas, distribution franchises or undergrid projects. Here, it's not only Nimbus AMI with the same sort of feature set as delivered for the grid, but we're often also involved in the smart meter hardware supply as well. And then we also deal with the isolated mini-grids, and there we are sort of a full stack technology platform where we provide all the services required for the small mini-grid. If you could click 4 times, please. Finally, with the acquisition of Shift, we have the FlexView product now. Shift focuses or has focused FlexView on private wire distribution networks and estates. So this will be commercial industrial facilities, residential estates. One of the anchor projects there is the Eco-Atlantic Smart City in Lagos. Every building there has a FlexView system. Not only is the energy service monitored, but all other service charges, etc., are monitored by the system. Customers have an app; they can see exactly what they're using, and it is very well suited B2B2C platform as well. So we cover everything from mini-grids through to the grid, and then obviously private wire or estates. Next slide, please. Another click will do. I'll make my slide simpler next time. So just an overview of Nimbus itself. It is designed to be a fully operable AMI platform. It interlinks with any DLMS COSIN compliant smart meter. We've got 10 OEMs integrated to date. We can interface through the API with other head-end systems, and we have done so. We also have integrated with a wide variety of payment platforms and token vending systems. And there are a number of consumer apps that draw data from our platform to deliver the customer service. Within our platform, in terms of our application layer, we provide the utility apps and user interface to manage the overall metering system. And we have our field force apps, which take the alerts raised for both theft and technical issues and use managed workflows to direct individual workers to go and investigate and resolve and gather evidence as needed, particularly for the revenue protection processes. Fundamentally, we are like the backbone of most grid utility operations on the distribution side, and we fit in with the wide ecosystem of other CRM systems, ERP systems, etc., that utilities will use. Within off-grid, though, we manage all the key functions within the platform with the future scalability to add or connect to other systems in the future. Next slide, please. FlexView, again, it's a full stack vertically integrated product, so it's an all-in-one solution for residential estates and other private wire systems. Again, we integrate with DLMS COSIN compliant meters or third-party head-end systems. Within the platform itself, we obviously acting as a meter data management system. We're integrated with payment platforms, so we can actually handle payments directly. We've got the operator dashboard, we've got the customer app, and then we've also got the loss detection and other analytics built in to assist with maintaining the revenue flows. And fundamentally, it's everything is cloud-based between both platforms. Next slide, please. So my colleague at Orange has given us a very good overview of the major digital challenges. We absolutely concur with them. From our side, digitalization is not easy, even for mini-grid customers, but even more so for larger grids. The absolute first hurdle has always remained the quality of hardware installation across the distribution network and making sure that the data is being communicated reliably day to day by every smart device. We've had to become very hands-on with site deployments to make sure that each and every mini grid, when it's commissioned, all those meters are actually installed, communicating and operating reliably and as expected. And that's just a feature of it, of the nature of the beast. One of the biggest issues we face in some parts of Africa is unreliable mobile networks, and that's where customers also will have to face, for example, using satellite or Starlink kind of systems to overcome that. So these are, communications really is a fundamental backbone for digitalization. That gets the data into the platform. But the next major hurdle that we often find with digitalization is the actual adoption of the tech. So if those data-driven insights are not properly employed by the operations processes and the field teamwork is not actually done, the actual benefits of digitalization are kind of lost in the business. So that brings me to the end. And then Carlos flashed me up there. So if we go next slide, my contact details are up. Please do reach out to me directly at any time to explore how we can help with your journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. A fantastic portfolio and catalog of solutions. It's really impressive, and I see some questions in the chat for you. So yeah, encouraging the audience again to submit the questions, including which is the speaker they are asking the question to. All right, so 2 more presentations left. If we can go to the next slide. The next speaker of today is Mr. Luke Berben, who is the Chief Technology Officer of Turbulent Hydro, based here in Belgium. So very nice to have you here with us, Luke. And yeah, over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. Also, thank you for introducing me. So I'm Luke Berben, CTO of Turbulent. You can see a bit of an overview already of what we do. So we build micro hydropower turbines for worldwide deployment. On the left, you can see one of those turbines. In the middle, a cabinet for 3 off-grid turbines of a total 75 kilowatts. And on the left, on the far right, one of our recent installations at the Azores, 2 turbines behind actually or at the outflow of an already existing turbine. Next slide, please. Just a second. So traditional big hydropower projects have a huge impact on the environment. The projects typically have very long lead times. And in fact, the damage of a dam failure is extremely big, is huge. But nevertheless, hydro, once operational, generates continuous energy without CO2 emissions. And therefore, Turbulent looked into an alternative, creating multiple distributed small plants without dams, using the natural inclination of a river or natural drops to generate power there where it is available, with a minimal impact on the ecosystem and the surroundings, and also close to the consumers. Typical sites would be old mills, irrigation channels. These are often designed with regular small drops, so you really have ideal locations, often every kilometer or whatever distance. So you can indeed install turbines with just a short bypass. The middle picture on the top right demonstrates a 4 turbine site along a river. Next slide. More details on our solution, what we call a vortex turbine. So we indeed have a basin that will create a vortex, and in the center of the vortex, our turbine will capture the energy and convert it into electricity. So by focusing with our turbines on the very low head conditions, being around 1.45 meters up to 4 meters per turbine, we can tap into natural water power that was previously not considered. It has minimal impact on the environment, and fish and aquatic life can simply pass through the turbine unharmed. The power output of a single turbine ranges from 15 up to 90 kilowatts, the latter generating up to 500 megawatt hours per year. We have sites where we combine turbines in series or in parallel. As such, a single site can have a capacity of up to 2 megawatts in peak power. We offer both on-grid solutions as off-grid and hybrids. So in case you have a location where the grid is unreliable, the system will be able to operate off-grid or on-grid and switch between the two seamlessly, so that the end user, the customer, will not have any disturbances. Last but not least, typically when compared with solar, wind, etc., a hydropower turbine will offer continuous power day and night, while in contrary, solar and wind can be quite intermittent. Next slide, please. So Turbulent had to turn to an IoT approach due to our distributed model. So on the map, you can see all the locations where we have sold turbines. Since they all did that much distributed, you cannot just expect people to be continuously available, to have on-site staffing 24/7. So remote monitoring control can resolve it, but we have to make sure that the solution is cost effective and that it also adheres to high security standards. In fact, starting in 2027, in order to remain CE certified, we will even have to apply or comply with more strict regulations in the EU. For this reason, Turbulent selected a readily available IoT cloud platform that offers centralized and secured access to the information gathered from different turbines. And we implemented the controlling network infrastructure and the software to match it internally. Okay, next slide. And you have an overview of, or a high-level overview of our IoT solution. So you can see a dashboard showing the data of around 5 turbines, one in standby, several in running, etc. We can follow up. We can see errors of machines. We can see whether they're idle or running. This access is available worldwide from PC as well as from mobile. You can get site overviews, for instance, total energy produced, but also detailed per turbine information, the sluice condition, the water level, temperature of the generator or gearbox, things like that. The system also offers a hierarchical structure for information isolation so that the customer just sees his information. The country partner will see the information of his customers, and Turbulent can assist anyone at any time from our dashboards. The solution can also push alarms and notifications in case of an issue so that authorized personnel can immediately analyze the situation as well as act upon it. So also control is available remotely. An extra benefit from the data collection is that we can perform real-life data analysis, helping us also and the customers for preventive maintenance. For instance, the need for an oil exchange or an oil refill is often made visible. Well, I can't say often, but can be made visible through the continuous and slow increase of the operating temperature of the gearbox in our turbines. Okay, next slide. Maybe I'm going a bit too technical at this point, but I do want to sketch a bit also the architecture overview. So the base is actually a Linux-based controller, a Raspberry Pi, but an industrial version of the Raspberry Pi with Debian Linux on top of it, protected from the internet using a modem with a built-in firewall that can be also remotely updated with secured patches, etc. The controller design itself has 3 levels. We have a real-time control by the individual hardware components, the variable frequency drive to control the turbulent generator, an energy monitor, sluice controllers, and other components. Then a first controller domain, doing a fully autonomous coordination between all those devices. It is not connected to the grid, it does not need the grid in order to operate. And then a second controller domain, reporting data to the clouds or via secured MQTT, and also handling command processing received from the remote channel. On the other hand, for the low-level maintenance of the systems, like security updates of the operating system, etc., and for the control software, we simply use standard Linux tools, Secure Shell, Ansible, etc. Next slide, please. So all in all, the result is that we turn the challenge into an opportunity. We have been able to reduce OPEX costs largely by offering this IoT solution. We offer our customers and ourselves real-time visibility to all turbine data. A very important factor as well is that now Turbulent and our partners can support the end customers during their daily activity and during maintenance. And this has been really very helpful, both for certain sites that are very remotely, but also for customers with, I would say, limited technical backgrounds. By being able to monitor closely on what is happening, etc., we can really assist them on doing the correct operations. We also are collecting now on longer term data from the different turbines, and this allows also for tuning our machines and adopt them in function of changing climate conditions. It can be that we can, by simply modifying or offering different blades, designs, etc., that we can improve the operations of a turbine due to, or let's say, after changing flow conditions. And also the platform is ready to extend beyond energy generation to also allow flow evolution, the impact of on agriculture in the neighborhoods, monitoring water quality, etc. Okay, thank you for your interest, and later in the seminar you will have time for further questions, and of course you can also contact us. That's on the next slide.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Luke, for the presentation. Super interesting, combining data collection, IoT, also hydro technology. We have been speaking today a lot of solar PV. So yeah, very refreshing. Thank you very much. And dear audience, feel free to ask questions to Luke as well. Great. So last but not the least, the last speaker of the day is Ms. Zamani Haro, who is representing Upya Technologies, and she is the communications manager. So thanks, Salah. And yeah, over to you for the last presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Zamani Haro. I'm a communications manager at Upya Technologies. I'm here today with Gaetan, who is the head of sales, who will be very happy and gracious to answer your questions at the end of this session. But today I want to walk you through how we enable automation in action by building efficient, connected, and scalable systems. So I often joke that automation is the most underrated team member in any organization. It doesn't get tired, it doesn't forget, it just quietly keeps everything moving while we sleep. So today I want to show you how that invisible team member is changing how businesses grow, scale, and most importantly, how any organization, big or small, can make it part of their success story. Next slide, please. So what do we mean by automation? When we talk about automation, we are really talking about process automation, which is connecting the dots between tasks so they can happen automatically. A process is simply a series of actions that achieves results, while automation uses technology to make those actions happen without constant human intervention. In our CRM, this means specific action done by your teams are automatically triggered by events. So before we explore where automation works best, let's talk briefly about why people automate in the first place. Next slide, please. So companies automate for a few key reasons. One, to avoid time lags and human error, which means there's no more waiting for someone to send that update. Two, to ensure accuracy and consistency, which means that tasks are set once and they are done the same way every time. Three, so companies can track who is doing what and where. This helps you to enable better management of teams and overall production. Four, to improve customer experience. This means your customers get to experience faster and better services. And five, to increase efficiency. It means that you'll be able to free your staff to focus on work that will add value to your organization. So in general, automation saves time, it reduces error and helps team perform at their best. So who is automation really for? Next slide, please. The truth is automation is for everyone. Let's start with the off-grid distributor example. So imagine your client misses a payment for 15 days or more. It could be 30, it could be 3, it could be 4, depending on your business structure and their product loss. Now, a flag is automatically applied to their contract and it triggers a ticket for customer support. Now, based on what the client says, the system sends the next action, which will be a cash collection or a repossession task. It means that there's no delay, no manual coordination, everything is coordinated. Now, if we're going to picture a scenario in another business, which is an internet provider installing connections daily, once a subscription is paid for, an installation job is automatically created and sent to the technician's mobile app. Now, they see the client details, they see the location and the equipment they need for installation, and then they go for installation. After installation, they log photos, they ensure that the checklist is completed, signatures and inventory updates instantly. So the job now syncs to the HQ in real time and vice versa. So it means that the technician gets updates, the client gets updates, and also the HQ also get updates. So from start to signal, the process is digital, is traceable, and is fast. Next slide, please. Now, to see what that looks like at scale, let's look at Lumos, one of our long-term partners. Lumos is a market-leading provider of high-quality solar home systems in Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire. Now, over time, Lumos built key automation flows that now run their operations end-to-end. So together, these flows connect Lumos customers and product lifecycle. A clear example of how automation can streamline complex, high-volume operations and make them scale sustainably. If you want to explore the full Lumos case study, you can visit our website, go to www.upya.io/case/Lumos, and you'll find the case study there. Next slide, please. So, how do you move from manual to automated? It starts with understanding your process. So, for example, how does your stock move from your warehouse to your regional managers down to your agents? What happens when a client calls with a complaint? So you map your process, you look at it realistically and ask if it's efficient and how can it be improved. Now, once that is clear for you, we will sit with you, we will refine your steps, and we use our tools to merge and automate what makes sense. Then we go ahead to implement, to test, to adjust, and then we train your team to master that process. So overall, it's a collaborative process. You bring your expertise, we bring our system, and together we make it flow. Next slide, please. Now, after helping several clients move from manual to automated systems, a few lessons always stand out. First, everything starts at the top. Now, when management has a clear vision and champions the change, the rest of the organization follows. Secondly, you need your experts at the table early. Department leads and field managers, they are the key partners that understand how things really work. So their insight can make the automation practical and not theoretical. Thirdly, change takes communication. People don't resist automation, they resist uncertainty. So explaining why again and again to your staff builds trust and enables adoption. And finally, growth is continuous. Automation isn't a one-time setup. Each new process builds data and efficiency for the next step. So over time, your organization doesn't just become more automated, it becomes smarter, it becomes faster and more empowered. The off-grid industry has become increasingly complex and distributors are managing more products, more services and larger teams than ever. With that growth comes complexity and shrinking margins. So generally, automations help us through that. Automation helps to simplify workflows, it helps to reduce cost, and it improves oversight and generally drives scale. So in a market where efficiency defines competitiveness, you look at it this way, that automation isn't optional, it's actually a differentiator. It just helps you stand out. So at Upya, we've seen how the right automation can transform operations and would love to help you find yours. So just remember, automation isn't about replacing people, it's about empowering them to do their best work. It's not just a process, it's an evolution, and we will be happy to walk you through that evolution. Thank you so much. Let's go to the last slide, Carlos, where we have our details and you can reach out to us and we'll be happy to speak with you. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Fala. Also, perfect timing. So we can go to the next slide where maybe we will see. Okay, I didn't see the contact information, Sala, but maybe we can share your information some other way afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your last chance for asking questions to the speakers. So please make sure that you are including your questions in the Q&A feature of GoToWebinar. And now, dear speakers, may I invite you to connect your cameras as we enter the Q&A session of the webinar. Thanks, Diogo, Warren, Sessy. Thank you very much. So I will try to follow the same order of the presentations, but not necessarily. So perhaps I can start with you, Sessy. There's one question for Anfani that says, can you share how your data-driven credit assessment differs from traditional microfinance models when evaluating SMEs for renewable energy financing?
Sorry, can you come again? I didn't get that question, please.
Yeah, it's about the credit assessments, the data-driven credit assessments, how they differ from traditional models, traditional microfinance models, when evaluating SMEs.
Okay, so like we said earlier, the customers that we focus on are the unbanked and underserved. And most times we realize that these customers are very high risk. So most commercial or microfinance banks do not want to finance these customers because they are not documented. However, on our platform, we have APIs that link or that integrate these figures for us, actually. So unlike the traditional commercial banks that when they see these documents from these customers, they just fling them to the side, Anfani goes a step further and we do our due diligence using our Mono integration. So these integrations, like I mentioned earlier, are attached to, they are automated or integrated with identity verification services. So we have database from our passport offices, we have databases from the BVNs and the NINs, and this actually enables us to verify the information that these customers give us.
Thank you, Sessy. I think it's really well answered. There's also, well, for Diogo, there's a very short question that says, in which countries is Okra operational, and if it's operational in India in particular? And there's a longer question.
Okay, Okra Okra's deployment, Okra's electrified villages are mainly in Nigeria and in Haiti. When the company started a few years back, there were and still are some electrified households in Cambodia and the Philippines, and that's it. Our future plans. I don't want to predict the future, but we do want to expand in Africa. Nigeria is definitely our main focus. I will say, and I will also say, there are no short-term plans to move back to the Asian market.
Thank you. The longer question actually is about Nigeria. It says, does the mesh group software applicable in an isolated grid, probably in the rural setting? And how do you think this will work in the Nigeria network system that have allocated franchising to each of the distribution networks?
Gosh, it is a bit long, and I didn't get it all. Is it possible at all to paste it here in the chat?
I will try, but I'm not totally sure if it works or not. If not, I will repeat.
Maybe that will work.
I've seen your message.
Okay. Does the mesh grid software applicable in an isolated grid? Probably in the rural settings. So if I understand the question correctly, is our software usable in settings other than mesh grid deployments? I think is how I'm interpreting it. And the answer in the present is no, it's not. The reason being, we are still, as a startup, we are still in a phase where very much we're working directly with our customers to understand their needs and develop solutions for them. They deploy the mesh grid. So that's how it works. However, there's no reason why in the future we might not have more generic software solutions if they become very popular in the environment, in the ecosystem here. Is there a second part to this question?
No, there's not. I think that was it, and yeah, I think it's well answered, Diogo.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. There's another question for both Orange and SteamaCo, so maybe we can start with Nat-Sy. The question says, for platforms for mini-grid users, in your platform, is it possible to include also all PV plant technical data to be able to check all technical and commercial data on a single platform? Generation and user data. Sorry, Nat-Sy, you are muted, I think. Yeah, I cannot hear you, Nat-Sy. Small technical issue. Yeah, no, we cannot hear you. Maybe try to switch to a different headphone set. In the meantime, given that Warren has the same question, maybe Warren can start, and then we go back to you, Nat-Sy.
Hello.
Well, actually, now it's solved.
Hello, is that better?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay. I'll let you, Warren, but nevertheless, I did not understand the question, so good that Warren starts.
Okay, no problem. Yes, it is possible to integrate the generation side and the distribution side data into one. We've so far interfaced with certain inverter systems, which then provide us the supply data in terms of power injected into the mini grid, as well as battery storage levels. I think the crucial thing here, though, is it's almost a system by system integration process. So it's something that is done literally on a need basis, customer by customer. There are platforms in the off-grid space, for example, Prospect which is EU funded. It has been built to take data from across the smart devices, from across an entire portfolio, and aggregate all that information into one place. And that'll also be from disparate metering systems. So, for example, SteamaCo Spark, Calometer, etc., plus multiple different inverters, etc. And Prospect is also open source. So, as a commercial company, I guess, from our perspective, we do the interfaces when necessary for specific customers or portfolios because they want it in our platform. Outside of that, the broader aspect would be is that basically our open source platforms like Prospect actually a better fit longer term for off-grid customers, given cost pressures, etc. as well. When you get a commercial vendor like ourselves, there needs to be a cost benefit for both ourselves and the customer to do such integration work. But yes, it has been done. It is possible. It's the economics of it that need to be decided upon on a case-by-case basis.
Thank you.
So can you again, what is to be integrated? I did not catch it.
I will type it in the chat as I did with Okra's question. Maybe that's better. To integrate basically the technical and commercial data in a single platform.
So same answers as Warren. Everything is feasible because all of these platform and development are made internally and so we have total control and open interfaces. But the focus of Orange Smart Metering is really to answer to the two questions, which are that I mentioned at the beginning. Are we sure that everybody who consumes electricity will pay? So this is really what we focus on. We don't pretend to be the platform who will replace all other platforms of the world and stuff. No, we know that we have a conjunction with mobile money that we master, with connectivity, and we are mostly a hidden system with some function of the MDM, which focuses on making money payment reliable. This is our focus. And for an entire energy plant management and stuff, I believe most of the suppliers of mini-grid equipment and stuff have some solutions. It's better to have people who knows to do something to do that. We don't want to, well, this is my honest answer. But everything is always possible in technology world.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Nat-Sy, as well. Now turn for Turbulent. There's a question for you, Luke, that says, you mentioned that IoT data can also capture parameters like water quality or flow. So how might this environmental data create value beyond power generation? For example, sustainability reporting or watershed management.
The question is not completely clear to me. I'm sorry.
I guess it says, is it possible to use the data you are capturing to use it for example, reporting of sustainability or watershed management, given that you can capture data about the flow of the water, water quality, and some other parameters. Is it something that you can? Sorry, Luke, we cannot hear you. I think you're.
Yeah, I didn't unmute. So we are currently working on a project in Suriname, which is also funded by VCAP, where we'll actually perform these kind of measurements, collect the data, and share it with other partners. This is the first project where we do this on such a scale. So I can't say that, yes, immediately we can make it available to any party. So there will be some developments necessary. But I would say by design of how the platform has been developed, this is certainly possible. And we are certainly open to look into that.
Wonderful. There's also a very, very short question for you as well that says, what do you consider to be the next frontier in digitalization for micro hydro?
I think it is really being able to deal with changing circumstances. I mean, climate change is a fact. We see everywhere evolutions. There will be places where there will be more water flowing, or places where there will be less and less. How to deal with it and how to make sites, etc., cooperate in order to also sustain a stable grids. Typically now, the turbines will be just operating each on its own, generating as much as possible. I would expect that in the future, just like other devices, they will need to start cooperating with other systems in order to create a very stable grids, meaning that if there's a lot of solar, the turbine doesn't need to generate full power, but it will reduce the power it generates while picking up later on when there's less of solar energy. So it's really a question of cooperating, not looking at the individual activity operation, but in a grid, in a mesh, and so on. I'm actually pretty interested in also the project what Diogo mentioned. These mesh grids making, in fact, the local distribution much more cost effective, and there might be matches there as well.
Fantastic, thanks for answering the question, Luke. Now there's another question for Sala, and I think that it will be the last one of the day. So yeah, it's for you, for Upya. How can we ensure business continuity during automation avoiding operational downtime or data loss while processes are being digitalized? It's also a bit long, so I will type it in the chat just in case you got lost. So yeah, how can we ensure the continuity during automation avoiding operational downtime?
So it's a gradual process. Like it happens in batches. It's not you don't halt anything. We just take time. Once you confirm that that's your process, it works for you, and then we're able to automate your cycle. It's a gradual process. So we move gradually, and we just don't halt your business before you automate. So when you start with us, you might have to go through some series of trainings from our customer success team on realistically how the platform works and how your automation process is going to go, and then you gradually migrate. That's why, like I said in the previous slide, that first of all, it's a top-down approach. You have your management team like emphasizing why it is important for you to automate your process, and then the next step for you is to put the teams together so they understand how the process works. So it's a gradual process, and your businesses do not halt at any point. We just migrate slowly, and that's how it works. If you want, you can go to our website and you can sign up for a free demo, and we can walk you through realistically how this process works, and you can see how it works. The demos are free, by the way, so yeah, do well to sign up for one.
Fantastic. Thanks, Sala. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the webinar. First of all, thank you very much on behalf of I4E, dear speakers, for your fantastic presentations. It's been really insightful. And we will share with you a detailed report very soon. Plus, we look forward to having you in the future in similar activities. So thank you very much. Also, dear audience, thanks for connecting today and for your attention and questions. And of course, thanks to my team of I4E, Francesco, Ling, and Okra, for being behind the presentation and the webinar. In the next slide, maybe we can also share a bit of info about the EIF, which is our flagship event, the Energy Access Investment Forum. All the members of ARE, you are invited to attend for free, of course. And we have opened registrations last week. So we would invite you to check the website. There's even a promo code for a discount on the ticket. So encouraging you to have a look to this. I'm looking forward to meeting you all next year in Nairobi during EIF. I'm sure we will connect with all of you there. Last but not the least, in the next slide, I will invite you to the next edition of I4E next year. So please mark it in your calendars, 26th of February. That's it. Thanks, dear speakers. And yeah, have a good rest of the day. And we will be in touch, of course. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.